Hey all, Sam Robb here, samrobb2020.com. As some of you may know, I'm actively seeking the Libertarian Party's nomination to run for President of the United States in 2020. So I'd appreciate it if you could take out your checkbooks and make a donation to support me. Remember that Sam Robb with two B's, and the maximum individual contribution is $2,600. I'm waiting. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that there's not a lot of check writing going on right now. As a matter of fact, I'm betting that a lot of you are a little annoyed. Who the heck is this Sam Robb guy? What does he think he's doing? Why in the world should I support him? And you know what? You're reasonable people. Those are reasonable questions. You want some idea of who I am. You want to know what I stand for. You want to know what it means to you in this election. Hold on to that feeling. That is exactly what 99% of the voters out there feel like when you tell them that they should be voting for a libertarian candidate. Who the heck are these libertarian people? What do they think they're doing? Why in the world should I support them? If we're going to get those people on our side this election, we have to be able to answer those questions. And make no mistake, we need those voters. We've got some big hurdles to overcome first, though. The biggest one of all is that the idea of liberty, the idea of real freedom, is intimidating. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I started walking to get into shape. I'd go for short walks, 5, 10, 15 minutes tops. Then one day I decided to walk up to the end of this place called Hers Island. 3 miles. For an out-of-shape desk jockey, the idea of going that far was intimidating. So I planned that walk like I was going to war. I Google mapped it, I street viewed it, I checked the weather like a hawk, I set off with a bottle of water and a granola bar. And it was great. I've come a long way since then. I do 3 miles when I don't have the time for a real walk. I've made the trip up to Hers Island dozens of times. I've been there, done that. I know the whole way, all the ups and downs, the bumps and turns. When it comes to understanding liberty, that's you. You know the way, you know how all this works. You know all the twists and turns. But you have to remember, for people who haven't walked it with you, it's still intimidating. So I'm going to give you some bad news, then I'm going to give you some good news. Bad news first. There's no way that libertarians can put someone in the White House. There's less than 30,000 actual Libertarian Party members. Registered Libertarian voters are about 1/2 of 1% of the voting population. And yet, in 2016, Gary Johnson got 4.5 million votes. That's because more than 90% of his votes came from non-libertarians. And that's the good news. There's no way that libertarians can put someone in the White House. But libertarian ideas absolutely can. To do that, though, we need to connect with people who have never really thought about voting for someone other than a Democrat or a Republican. That is why I'm asking you for your support. I believe that people across the country want change, that they want to turn away from the directions that the major parties are pulling us in, that they want to return to the fundamental truths, humanity, civility, liberty, that have always made Americans who we are. But the idea of change, the idea of real change, can be intimidating. That's why my campaign will be about reaching non-libertarian voters first and foremost. Not because it's a trick strategy, but because it's the only strategy that can work. Each of my policy goals is made up of relatively small changes. They're designed so that they can be communicated in multiple ways to different target audiences. They're designed to show, before, during, and after implementation, that reducing the size of government and increasing individual liberty is a good thing for them, for their families, for their neighbors, and for their communities. I intend to reach out to the politically abandoned by speaking not just to their desires, but to their concerns, by explaining those first steps we will take together, by showing them that those first steps towards liberty are not as intimidating as they think. Americans need to reach the point again where they see liberty presented as the solution to their problems, as the humane, civilized answer to knit our country together again. And right now, we are the only party willing to make that happen. This is Sam Robb from samrobb2020.com. Let's work together and make America free again.